This is Josiah Plays Torment, Tides of Numenera. Alright, we're doing Into the Depths. We've just reached the heart of the bloom. If the heart is anything like the bloom's maws and tongues, I should be able to establish a mental link and seize control of it. Then I can command it to release the Memavira's missing scholar, Ishin.
To do.
Ahead, you see a mass of bloom tongues, bigger than any you have encountered thus far. They wave gently, as if beckoning you forward. Your companions hesitate, looking to you. Are you alright, Rin? What? She shakes her head as though shaking off a chill. No, I'm not alright. We're in the bowels of... I don't even know what. I don't know why I'm here. He sniffles and says, almost too quiet to hear, I want to go home. Do you have any insight, Alagarin? He laughs. Ha ha ha! You're asking my advice now? I think you should have abandoned this foolish quest before it started. He sighs. His face softens and his tone becomes serious. Don't underestimate it, Castoff. It's more powerful than you by a long shot. He raises one forearm, showing his tattoos. There are fates to be feared more than death. Any advice, Matkina? This thing, she says, never taking her wary gaze from it, has destroyed the lives of more people than you have ever met. It is a predator. She glances at you only briefly before returning her eyes to the bloom's tendrils. Whatever you do, stay in control. Resist it. Show it you're strong. Otherwise, it will swallow you whole. I'm not going to ask anybody to go in with me. I'm going in by myself. I don't want to risk any of them if this is going to be some sort of horrific hellscape. Of course, they're already kind of stuck in a horrific hellscape just being right here. You've got a point, Root Brittany. Welcome back, Root Brittany. How you doing? We never would have experienced that Rin dialogue if you sent her home. You have a point. Also, hi. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen in here. Am I going to really need one of these people? Because if I'm going to take somebody based on who I might need, I'm going to take Matkina. Because she's grade A ass kicker in every respect. She's got all the fucking speed-based checks covered, and she's definitely the strongest in combat. But Alagarin might have some lore-type information that could be good, or it could be just cool to see what the dialogue or roleplay of Rin is if I take her. But thinking about it, should I bring any of them in, or should I just go myself and not endanger them? Fred, come to bed. Welcome, Fred. I did miss a quest. The OP Inkpot Mirrorcaster, most interesting in the game. God damn it! Don't say that. I will turn this game around. I will reload a save right the fuck now. Does he really have a Mirrorcaster? You guys don't know. You're just fucking with me. Who do I take? Fuck it, I'm taking Ren. Just because... in my next playthrough, I'm going to send her home, so I'll never be able to see what she does in here, because she will have been sent home by now. And I think I can justify it by saying that I'm keeping her next to me so that I can keep her safe and keep her fears comforted and stuff, rather than just leaving her alone with Alagarin and Matkina. Rin, I want you to come with me. What? She takes a step back from you. Why would you even say that? I thought you were going to keep me safe. You're not the scared little girl you used to be. I need your help here, really. You get back to the courtyard? Really, Fred? Because Sun said you don't. I don't... She reaches into her pocket and pulls out the rock, listening. After a long moment, she nods. All right, we'll do it. Takes a deep breath and says more quietly, I'll do it. Oh, I can ask all of them. Great. Matkina, let's go in together. Her eyes widen. Are you insane? She looks you up and down. Perhaps you are. I will not. The bloom is a terror. If you want what it knows, you'll have to get it yourself. Man, after all I've done for these people, you got to go back to the regular part of the well, it's easy for me to persuade anyone. My persuasion abilities are ridiculous. You got to go back to the regular part of the bloom after going to the bloom's heart. Okay, well that's good to know. That makes me happy. I thought Sun said he didn't. So I don't know. Maybe he just missed something. I can't do this alone. It'll be okay. That's really not the way I would have gone persuading Matkina, but oh well. That works. 100% chance because... Look at this! Because Matkina loves me! 30% bonus. That's nice. Did I get that bonus? Did I get a bonus with Ren? For any kind of loyalty or whatever? She frowns. Don't believe that. But you've done good for me already. Fine. Try not to get us both killed. Allegern, I need you in there with me. This is your quest, Cast-Off. I won't stop you from going in there, if that's what you think needs to be done. But I'll be damned if I'm going down with you. Please, I can't do this alone. Oh, Allegern loves me too. They all love me. I think Rin loves me too, because she was already saying some really nice stuff to me earlier about how I was from the gods and shit. I think they all love me. 100%. Go. His lips become a tight line. His shoulders droop, and he lets out a dejected sigh. Fine, but if I come out of this worse than I already am, so help me, I'll have my revenge on you. Alright, let's do this. Dun da da dun da da da. Before you looms a twisted mass of tubes, arteries, roots, and tongues, heaving and pulsing in the murky light. The flesh glimmers with foul shades of purple and black, pocked with pustules and necrosis. Bloom whispers gather, swarming over you like flies, buzzing and chittering and hissing. Millions of them. All the voices that comprise the bloom's mind are converging in this one place. Thing is creepy. As you step closer, bloom tongues surround you, drawing you into a wet, nauseating embrace. Though they seem solid and corporeal, they somehow pass through your flesh, thrusting into your head, your limbs, and your guts, igniting prickly, hot-cold sensations all over your body. Oh, by the way, for those of you who played this and didn't find that secret room, that I think Root Brittany was one of the people that said, and also I think Sun, but I don't think he's here. You know what I found in there? I found the corpse of Chila the Great, the first Memavira, the one who led the uprising and started the slave families and all that, the one that had the big statue of her. I found her remains and I found her hammer. And her hammer's a really badass weapon, but unfortunately it's a heavy weapon and none of my party members know how to use a heavy weapon worth a damn, so I'm not using it. But it was pretty cool. Quickly, hot, cold sensations all over your body. Right. Oh, I can use the scalpel again. Man, that scalpel just comes up again and again and again once you get that thing. A multitude of bloom voices hiss and babble with rage. You cannot understand their words, but their meaning is clear. You don't belong here. The voices invade your mind, sweeping aside your thoughts, establishing themselves within. Your companions groan beside you, trapped in the same embrace. Yeah, so the bloom doesn't like me. Rip a bloom tongue out? I can just go Conan on this motherfucker. Try to pull the tongues out. Resist the bloom's voices. Slash with the transdimensional scalpel. Try to be all like, no, let's be friends. I'm not here to fight you. I'm gonna resist the bloom's voices because lol intellect. Oh look, I get a 45% bonus because 3 companions entered with me. That's pretty neat. Not that I needed it, really, because my intellect is ridiculous. Reflexively, you let go of everything, focusing on a single mote of knowledge that the voices cannot take away. I am here. This thought is mine. The bloom voices fade into a meaningless babble as you repeat the words to yourself, and you realize that the voices are powerless to stop you. They can devour your memories or cause you pain, but they can't snuff out your conscious mind. Yeah. With this realization comes strength, and you repeat the words again. They cut through the cacophony of bloom voices. These thoughts are mine. Get out! Now your inner voice drowns out theirs. The bloom whispers turn to hisses of frustration, and they flee, shrieking in rage. Voices become more distant. They whisper and buzz to each other, barely audible, like a vast conclave that is locked away behind a heavy door. You find that you can move again, albeit slowly and awkwardly, constrained by the wriggling tongues that have merged with your flesh. I wonder if having the magmatic amulet would help you here. It probably would. You'd probably get an option to do something with it. If you have the magmatic amulet, turn to page 350. You automatically win the game. Alright. I'm infiltrating the bloom's mind. Fuck this fucking thing. %. Slowly, carefully, you extend your thoughts into the tubes and conduits of the heart, gently testing your ability to contract a muscle here or widen an artery there. You can hear the bloom voices all around you, but they don't seem alarmed. Either they don't sense you at all, or they don't perceive your intrusion as a threat. I traded the amulet back to Dracogen for a Mirrorcaster. Brute. As you explore the limits of your new perceptions, you begin to understand the heart's composition. The fleshy nodules that serve as sensory organs. The tubes and arteries to feed the intelligence that dwells here. The roots of innumerable whispering minds that descend to this spot from every corner of the bloom, tangling together to join their voices into a mad, chaotic union. So I can do a lot of stuff with intellect here, obviously. I don't know how many mirrors there are in the game, but I've done 9 of them. I've done 9, and I don't know how many I've missed or whatever, or how many there are. But I love mirrors. They're so cool. They're like choose your own adventure books with pictures, and sometimes sound effects. Let's observe the bloom voices and try to understand what they are. Mystical lore. You attend closely to the innumerable voices, chittering and whispering in the darkness of the bloom's mind. Each of these voices is a tiny intelligence, a semi-autonomous piece of the bloom's consciousness, and there are millions of them, perhaps tens of millions. The bloom can spawn them at will, increasing its ability to think and perceive, planting them into maws and tongues and organs. It can also devour them, cannibalizing its own screaming minds. Hey son, welcome. How you doing? Good to see you, son. Contemplating the bloom's intelligence as a whole, you have an impression of a mind that is always shifting, never constant, giving birth to countless fragments of itself even as it devours others. Oh, 3 XP, you say? Thanks. Gosh, what am I going to do with all that? Oh, look, I'm already at 402 over 180, and I can't level up anymore. Thanks for giving me more XP, though, just to rub it in. Like, hey, asshole, remember when you could still level up? Weren't those good times? Well, they're over! But cool. Welcome back. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good today, son. I was terrible when I woke up. I was in a rough mood when I woke up. But I got over it. It mostly subsided, and now I'm doing okay. Fred comes to bed. Inkpot spawns as a ghost trader who sells mirror casters after you kill him. God damn it. I will turn this playthrough around. I will reload everything. What about the ugly ones? What? What about the ugly ones? Oh, he's saying that because Sun comes in and always says, hey, 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 beautiful people. And Pakul says, what about the ugly ones? Winky face. And Sun says, you're all beautiful to me. You're all beautiful to me, too. We're going to observe the heart as a biological system and watch for patterns. Even though we probably don't need to, we can just start kicking ass with our intellect, but... For a time, you listen carefully to the booming pulse of the heart and observe its movements. But it teaches you little more than you already know. Fluids are pumped here from elsewhere in the bloom, and they seem to feed the many-voiced intelligence that resides in the heart. A deeper understanding of this process is beyond you. I wonder what happens if you side with Inkpot during that quest. If you kill Ioxu or whatever for them, and you're like super friends with the cult. And if you never use the scalpel on the thing, and you never do anything to piss off the bloom. I wonder what happens in that last crisis. Because I did a lot of things to piss off the bloom. I was not pro-bloom. Did you guys both side with Ioxu in the quest with him and Inkpot? Because I sided with Ioxu. Well, I worked out some kind of agreement between both of them or something. I don't... Yeah, the blooms... Yeah. When you came into the heart of the bloom, did it give you a little speech about how the bloom hates you? Because that's what it said to me. And I assume part of that is because I used the transdimensional scalpel twice on it. In that case, Inkpot just gives you his mirror casters instead of making you pay for them. God damn it. I will go back there and fight all those things. Matt Keenan could literally solo that whole fight. All those fuckers. Okay. What do I want to do? Oh, let's examine its memories. That sounds intriguing. 100%. I did get a bonus, though, for understanding its mind. Not that I needed a bonus, but... Floating unnoticed among the bloom's innumerable voices, you allow yourself to drift deeper into its mind. It is fortunate that you observed the voices and contemplated their patterns before you attempted this. Now that you know what they are, it's easier to understand them. As the voices whisper amongst themselves, you begin to see brief images, to hear sounds, and to feel hunger or satiation. These are the bloom's memories of its past. Screams echo in your ears as men and women are pulled into maws, their thoughts and personalities devoured, or simply altered, scrambled, changed into monstrous forms. You see limbs torn from bodies by eager bloom tongues, eyes plucked out so that tendrils can slide gently into their sockets to reach the brains. Not cool. For a moment, you see Gristler, the bloom guide. trapped in the embrace of a maw, and you can taste the raw flesh of his legs as the maw tears them off and devours them. You know in that moment that the bloom will eat of him again and again, reveling in the taste of his undying faith that it will provide for him, a faith that is so ill-founded. And everywhere you see and hear the Memovira, flashes of her early days, gathering followers to overthrow the old Memovira while publicly pledging her loyalty to him, her rebellion against him as she slaughtered his people and dragged him down into the heart, binding him so that the tongues could feed upon him slowly, and all the years of her ruthless rule. In all that time she never changed. Her face is the same now as it was when the bloom first saw her. I'm going to drift even deeper into the bloom's memories. All around you, whispers and chitters yield to more alien sounds, clicks and gurgles and dissonant tones. The memories change with them. Monsters stalk the corridors of the bloom, gelatinous hulks with flickering letters and numbers writhing beneath their skin. Multi-limbed machines with legs that skitter through 100 dimensions at once. Godlings formed from city-killing detonations, with voices of fire and smoke and screams. Flashing before your eyes are all the worlds the bloom has seen, in their hundreds of thousands. You can sense the city creature crawling across time and dimensions since the universe was young, perhaps longer. Its voice is changing, its flesh adapting, its senses changing. So basically, the bloom is fucking Cthulhu. Great, some more intellect pool. Good thing. Boy, I was really hurting for intellect pool. Your mind begins to hurt, barely able to comprehend the sensory impressions that are contained within the most distant memories. Fighting the urge to scream, you disengage at last, allowing yourself to drift slowly back to the surface of the bloom's mind. And yet, even with that brief exposure, your senses have broadened, and you are better able to comprehend the impossible. Not even your sire dared to gaze so deep into an alien mind. Look, gazing deep into alien minds is what I do, people. Alright. Let's search the thoughts for Ishin. Or do I want to save that? Do I want to save that? What if I take control of the sensory organs around the heart? Quietly, cautiously, you extend your consciousness into the bloated little sacs that quiver on the surface of the heart, and within its many conduits. If you wished, you could put them into a sort of slumber that would make it harder for the bloom to sense your presence. Yeah, let's do that. Let's send those to night-night time. All over the heart, the blubbery nodules slowly deflate, sinking into torpor. To your relief, the bloom makes no sound of alarm. Because putting blubbery nodules to sleep is what I do. Alright, hold on. Let's look for the thoughts of the abducted scholar Ishin. No, I lied. Take control of the arteries. Taking great care to avoid detection, you slip your thoughts into the tubes and arteries, assuming control of them. These fluids feed the intelligences that coalesce here. If you chose to do so, you could contract all the arteries at once, depriving them of energy. I mean, will that kill the bloom? Because I'll kill me some bloom. How much XP do I get for killing the bloom? Search the blooms. Does the bloom drop a Merecaster is the question. Search for the... Alright, now we're going to search for the scholar. Before we start closing off arteries and shit, we're going to search for the scholar. Of course, it's 100%. While your thoughts are joined to the bloom's, you can almost understand its voices. A whisper will spark a fleeting image in your mind's eye. A hiss will elicit a flash of anger or desire. Or Some alien emotion that you can't even comprehend. As you listen and watch, you see occasional images of a vague human figure. When you focus on them, try to hold them still, you see an isolated pocket of flesh, a cyst filled with thick black juices in which the man floats, curled up like a fetus. The cyst is wrapped carefully in fleshy tendrils and knotted muscles, watched closely by tiny, chittering minds that were spawned for exactly this purpose. Nox says it drops Meercasters like a bloomin' onion. Nice. Snap its neck. I snapped the bloom's neck. Alright. Let's gain control over the fibers and muscles that guard Ishin. Moving slowly and cautiously, you follow the faint whispers of the tiny chittering minds that wash over Ishin. They're not far from the heart, centered around a foul little cyst, just as you suspected. When they sense your approach, they squeal in alarm, but you overwhelm and silence them. You sense the remains of a transdimensional rift in the cyst, probably the same rift that the bloom used to capture Ishin in the first place. It should be possible to reopen the rift and set him free, but the bloom will know when you do. Which one of these do I want to do first? If I close off the arteries that feed the heart, is it gonna, like, kill the bloom and then make it impossible to free Ishin? Or if I free Ishin, is it gonna be like, oh no, now the bloom goes into fucking berserker mode and you can't do the other thing? Alright, you know what? Fuck the bloom. You gradually constrict the arteries, halting the flow of fluid to the heart. Something burbles irritably within the heart, like indigestion on a grand scale. Bloom voices chitter listlessly, but they don't seem to notice what has happened. Probably because you already deadened the heart's sensory organs. I did that on purpose. Oh man, I'm so smart. Alright, let's set Ishin free. Fuck the bloom. Hashtag fuck the bloom. You whisper softly to the rift, and it begins to take shape again. Bloom voices shriek in alarm, but with the arteries constricted and the heart's sensory organs deadened, the bloom can do nothing to stop you. So I was right to do those other things first, before setting Ishin free, because the bloom can't do shit now. Oh, 100 XP. What am I going to do with all that? You feel Ishin vanish from the foul little cyst. In the same moment, the air in the heart chamber ripples. A transdimensional rift tears itself into being, and a human figure topples out, dripping black juices, coughing and gagging, vomiting on the floor. You recognize the man at once. It's Mazov. Oh, Ishin is Mazov. Wow. Okay, that's convenient. Nox. Yeah, otherwise, if you didn't deaden the sensory organs, it would have spawned Meercaster elementals in the heart room. It would have just started trying to kill me by pelting me with Meercasters, just flying out of the wall in every direction. It's Mazov, the cast-off artificer you met in Zarian. I wish we could get... I wish Colin was back in here. Because I would ask him how many mirrors are in the game total. I really want to know. Like I said before, I've done 9 of them on this playthrough. Which seems like a lot, but I feel like there's probably a few more that I never found or whatever. Cast-off artificer you met in Zarian Daywalker's mirror. Your first thought is that the bloom has somehow released the wrong man. But no, the Memavira deceived you. Ishin is Mazov. For the moment, Mazov is recovering from his ordeal, barely aware of his surroundings. He hasn't even seen you yet. Snap Mazov's neck! Wait. Mazov will be fine. Stay focused on the heart. The bloom tongues are still stubbornly attached to your body. The bloom voices make a final, violent foray into the depths of your mind, and a memory surfaces. You stand with a woman upon a circle of gold, the sky clear and blue above you. Miela Vest. The woman is well known to you. The same woman who helped you choose this spot years before. The same woman who built this enclave with you together. Alright, so it's that we're remembering the first. Her face is changed, ravaged by time. The flesh is rotting away, exposing the glistening muscles beneath. That's gross. She turns away from you, as if to hide her ugliness. Not even your handiwork is proof against time. No, Marilel, you say. I have no way of fixing you, but you need not live in shame. You present her with a mask, its expression enigmatic, decorated with intricate patterns of gold. A pretty thing, she says, unable to hide the bitterness in her voice. I can just as well wrap my face in bandages, or cover my head with a sack. She holds the mask you gave her. Put it on, you hear yourself say. And she places the mask over her face. At once, it seems to meld with her flesh, and her face becomes that of a lovely young woman. I'm still thinking the Memavira is the first. Look, it said her face. It said earlier about the Memavira, her face hasn't changed in all these years that she's been Memavira. And if she's wearing this mask that makes her look, the same, then that could be why her face hasn't changed. Her eyes widen, knowing that something has changed, and you hold up a looking glass for her to see. She laughs aloud, a sound you haven't heard from her in years. You can change your face at will, you say to her. Try it. Marilel nods, watching the looking glass carefully as her face morphs into that of an old woman, then a homely beggar lady, then a Vargellan, and a dozen more. The last face you see is dark-haired, regal in bearing. It is the face of the Memavira. Called it so long ago. Accompanied by a distinct sense of hunger from the bloom, the memory fades. You hear a sharp intake of breath from Matkina. Somehow the bloom was showing the memory to her too. Right under my nose, she whispers. Had her right in front of me. The heart offers no explanation as to why it showed you this memory, but the implication is clear. The Memavira is merely a disguise, a mask that conceals the first cast-off. She has been alive, hiding behind a false identity for years. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised at all, because this is exactly what I said was the case. Fucking 40 hours ago of gameplay. The bloom tongues slide painlessly out of your body, setting you free. They show no further interest in you, and the whispering voices are gone from your mind. Mazoff the Lost. Mazoff rises, clutching himself, and he abruptly vomits a clot of black fluid onto the glistening flesh beneath his feet. Small red wounds mar the flesh between the wires crisscrossing his skin. Gods! He growls. Gods! He looks up at you. His mechanical eye sockets spin, wheels within wheels, focusing on your face. You're the cast-off that was riding Zarian Daywalker! What the hell are you doing down here? How did you recognize me? Muscle movements, he says, grimacing. Small variations on expression. As good as a signature for those who know what to look for. Coughs more of the black fluid against the back of his wrist. You didn't answer me. What are you doing down here? I thought I was rescuing someone named Ishin, but here you are instead. Yeah, that's me, he says. It's a nickname, short for Ishinizar, because I look like one. Whatever it is. I look like one, whatever it is. Nice. But no one calls me that except... He pauses, smirks. The first sent you, didn't she? Not surprised. She won't be getting the resonance chamber working on her own. It's all too easy to destroy the damn thing if you don't know what you're doing. Something about the words said in his voice stirs a memory in you. Resonance chamber, resonance chamber, resonance chamber, resonance chamber, resonance chamber, a resonance chamber, a resonance chamber. Resonance chamber. The sensation builds. I don't know what just happened to me right there. I lost my shit. He winces, teeth clenched. Gods! The bloom's a terrible host. Stuck its damn tongues into my guts to force feed me. Filled my lungs with bile. Not sure what you did to get me out, but thank you. He spits a black-tinged wad of phlegm over his shoulder. Could you maybe stop doing that? That would be great. Well, how do we get out of here? She's waiting, and you know how she is. I don't know how we get out of here. Maybe we're stuck in here forever. I'm going to eat you. I mean, what? Let's see. How'd you end up a prisoner to begin with? Hold on. How did you end up a prisoner to begin with? The bloom took me, he says with a careless shrug. Not a surprise. It's not happy with the first, but you probably already know that. So it took me, because it knows I'm important to her. He says this casually, without the faintest hint of pride. Anyway, I should get back to the first. She's gonna be... He waves a hand. Well, you know. I'm not sure how we're going to get out of here. Not yet, anyway. He nods, then seems to immediately regret the motion. Best headache I've ever had, he says, spitting again. Maybe she'll let me have a nap before we get going, eh? But a headache is uncoiling through your head now as well. Alarm spreads over Mazov's face, and he reaches out to catch you as you topple forward. You're underwater. The fading pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water, then is gone. An invisible pressure crushes your body, squeezing your head. A Gibra with a cast-off tattoo rises from the dark to confront you. I should have known. You need something of ours to finish your resonance chamber, don't you, Father? Father? Oh, right, because he used a Gibra as a cast-off. So he didn't just use humans as cast-offs. He used a Gibra at one point. He regards you with scorn. You haven't learned anything. You would sacrifice all of us for a chance at survival. You aren't the first. Pride blinds you both. You're wrong, Tom, you snarl. Yet his words frighten you. Is he saying Marilel's alive with her own plan to stop the sorrow? She must be stopped. Any plan of hers would be dangerous. I've built the resonance chamber to save us all, you say. It has the power to weaken the sorrow. I can kill the creature. A half-truth. The chamber certainly has the power, but who knows if it would be enough to kill. Will you apologize to me, then, selfless child? Will you beg my forgiveness? Oh, I see what he's saying. Will you apologize to me then, selfless child? Beg my forgiveness?
I'll remember that.
You lie. You've always have.
Tom's... A fucking underwater fish man named Tom. Seriously?
I'm Tom the Fish Man, and I don't live in the water, and my name is Tom.
Tom says calmly. He's very calm.
Although your motives differ, Marilel's plan and yours will result in the same end. The destruction of every cast-off. I will not allow this to happen.
He makes a complicated gesture with his fingers, and the pressure on your head increases. And he snaps your neck. Tom's voice grows muffled and fades as your mind, your sire's consciousness, flees his imprisoned body, abandoning it to the Gibra in favor of a new host. Alright, so this Tom guy is apparently no joke. Return to consciousness, the headache fading. Your mouth tastes of seawater or blood. Light and wet heat bathes the side of your face as the bloom opens a trans-dimensional portal. You can't be sure where it leads, but it's certainly your only way out. Someone, Mazov, is bracing you, holding you up. You alright? Mazov, what is the First's plan with the chamber? To sever the He gives you an odd look. You know, maybe you should ask her. I don't know enough about what's going on here. Just know that it'll free us from the sorrow, without sucking us all into someone else's mind. That should be enough. He shrugs. You can't do it without me, though. I best be getting back. Merecaster! That's number 10. Patting you awkwardly on the shoulder, he limps past you into the portal and vanishes. It is only when he's gone that you see the glittering contours of a small object lying where Mazov was standing. A Merecaster. It must have fallen from Mazov's pockets. You wipe the slime from the joints of the machine and add it to your belongings. Frictionless Merecaster.
I'll remember that.
Alright, so we can get out of here. Now there's a sphincter and stuff. Can I mess with this some more? The heart shows no further interest in you. Its tongues wave lazily in the air. Wave your tongues in the air. No, heed us of your presence.
All right.
The heart just don't care. We've got a frictionless Merecaster here. Oh my god, I've got so much XP and I can't spend it. I can't use it. Oh, it's so depressing. Okay. Return to the Memavira. I freed Ishin from the Bloom's heart. It turns out that he is actually Mazov, a fellow cast-off who I've encountered before, and the Memavira is really the first cast-off, who has been hiding in the Bloom for years. Don't call it a comeback. She's been here for years, rocking her peers, putting suckers in fear. Actually, she has actually been doing those things. It's time to return to her fortress and confront her. I saw a memory when I found Mazov. A Gibra cast-off named Tom. Still find that funny. Told the changing god that both his plans and the first would destroy all the cast-offs. My sire also said the resonance chamber could be used to weaken the sorrow, possibly enough to kill it. Okay. Well, where does this lead to? The map refuses to tell me. Heart interior. We're gonna use this Merecaster here in a second. By the way, son, do you know what I found in that room? That hidden room that you said you hadn't been in, and then I opened up another portal from that room to another even smaller hidden room. You know what was in there? Chila's corpse. Chila the Great, the first Memavira, the leader, and this was her hammer. You know, they are always talking about how she had the big hammer. Well, this is her hammer. I found her hammer, and it's badass. It's super badass, but it's a heavy weapon, and all my people super suck at heavy weapons, so I can't use it. So I'm going to sell this incredible historical artifact for 750 shins. You know, when I take it to the guy to sell it, I'm going to be like, this is the hammer of Chila the Great, and they're going to be like, no it isn't. Shut the fuck up. I'll give you 750 for it. Calm your shit. That ain't no Chila's hammer. No, it really is. No. They won't believe me. Alright, hold on. Before I even go back into the next place, I'm gonna save right here. Number 45. I like having lots of save games.
All right.
This looks like it's taking me right back to the Memavira's courtyard. Which would agree with what Fred come to... Or was it Fred or Pakul? Somebody said that they were able to go back to the regular areas after the heart. Oh yeah, here I am. I can go wherever I want.
You think that's best?
I could go send Rin home still. Where's that guy with that other quest? Oh, I think I have to rest, right? That's what we learned, that I have to rest to get that other quest person to appear. I think I could go send Rin home still. I mean, I still don't want to send Rin home, but... Alright. to Jackagen again real quick. He's got nothing new to say, okay.
Sure.
Get the rest of the quest? What are you talking about, son? The rest of what quest? Definitely not you, Pakul. You don't have the game. You're a poor student from Eastern Europe with some morals. With some morals. Not total morals, just some. Just I take my morals in moderation. Don't want to overdo it. So I guess I should rest if I want to. But look at all the buffs I have that are all going to disappear if I rest. Oh my god, it's so many. I really should send Rin home, though. Here's the problem with sending Rin home. Look at how many fucking ciphers she's got and all this shit. Now, if I try to take these ciphers back from her, we're gonna have way the fuck too many ciphers and we're not gonna be able to do anything with them. I could just send her with all the ciphers. Do you also have some ethics, or are they right out? She's got some good shit. Just some ethics. Okay. Seems reasonable. I need to sell some crap.
All right, Ren, you can do this.
Alright, here we go. Galvanic Hammer, I'll give you 511 for it. For the most significant historical artifact in all of Sega's Protectorate. Flexible character. Look how much money I have. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous amount of money. And I don't think I'm even going to have anything to spend it on at this point. So, what I guess I could do... What I guess I could do is...
All right, Ren, you can do this.
Look, Inkpot's gone.
One moment, and it's done.
Along with his many, many mirror casters that he would have dropped for me. See, there's Sheila. There's the hammer. There's the hammer. I literally just sold this hammer for 511 shins to a random merchant.
On it.
I've tried, Fred. I've gone to Iaxu multiple times since I got the blade, and there's no dialogue options to talk to him about it. I tried twice. There's no way to talk to him about it. Did you get a way to talk to him about it? I talked to somebody about it. Wasn't him, though. What do you mean, right? Alright, so what if I do this? What if I give all this shit to Aligern? Because he's going to be our de facto healer in the absence of Rin. Now he's got all that crap. What if I just let her keep all of these ciphers? I mean, do I have any that I want to get rid of in exchange for... Dude, third man is a legit fucking cipher. There's the scalpel. Yeah, I agree with you, son. This always annoys me in RPGs. Initially, you have no resources whatsoever. Everything's really expensive. Halfway through the game, your resources are functionally infinite. It's dumb. Yeah, every RPG seems like, to me, you end up with tons and tons of extra money and like extra items like healing potions or whatever the equivalent thereof is. Like in this case, look at all, I have 16 spray flesh, 7 concentrated spray flesh, plus she's got a couple, plus she's got a bunch more, and these other items that restore the stat pools, look how many of them we have. We have fuck tons. Plus we have enough money to buy a whole lot more if we needed to. Plus we have items we're not even using or selling. Plus we're all loaded up with shit tons of ciphers. And again, lots of money to buy more ciphers if we needed more ciphers. Like, I don't know. Games don't generally do a good job of giving you a way to use up your resources toward the end of the game. Witcher 1 and 2 are the only ones you can think of where you didn't automatically break the economy midway through. Oh, yeah. I guess. I don't remember how the economy was in those games. Particularly. Alright, so I think we're gonna just send Ren off on her business with all of her stuff. We're not even gonna take any of these ciphers off of her. We should take a couple. Maybe we should take Third Man and Limnic Rejuvenator. Quantum Detonation. Give that to her. Let her have the Prey Sector. He's got too many things. Give her some useless shit. Like Ring of Alamor. And... Alright. Is there another cipher I want to get rid of? Just because I know we're going to pick one up. This shimmering glass, I got this in the very beginning of the game, before ever even waking up in the real world. I got this in the labyrinth in my mind, like in the very beginning of the game, and I've still got it. Vader's rings. Let's give this to her too. Got a nice, damn nice shield there. We're just gonna let her keep this stuff. We're just gonna let her keep it. I don't even care. Alright, Rin.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
We're gonna send her home. I'm gonna save right now. Alright, so in our next episode we will send Rin home and continue on with our other business here in the city, in the Bloom. But that's going to do it for this one. If you're watching the stream, don't go anywhere because I'm not done playing. I'm going to keep right on going here. But if you're watching on YouTube, that's now the end of this episode. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Torment, Tides of Numenera.